this doesn't look like any formula that you're used to. This is technically a formula for one type of straight line. We'll be talking about linear equations with x's and y values in our next unit. But notice here, oops, I forgot to tell you, we're going to solve, let's say for the letter y. So all you need to know is that we're going to get y by itself. Notice that we do have numbers. You might think that we have constants and coefficients or variables. What we want to do is just use the same 4 steps that we were doing when it was just all letters. So remember, the first thing I do is see if there's anything that has a set of parentheses. If they have a set of parentheses, you would distribute to get rid of it. Since there's no parentheses, then you want to solve for the letter y. So you just want to underline the letter y. The next thing is, since we're looking at the y, the underlined letter, see if there's anything added or subtract. So notice that this negative 8x is subtract. So I want to get rid of the negative 8x. So the opposite of a negative would be a positive. You're going to add 8x over here, add 8x over here. These cancel out, so you got negative y. This and this, constant, and then a variable, can't combine. So then, 10 plus 8x. Now you're going to learn in the next unit that we prefer to have the variable first and then the constant last. Okay? So if you have it like this, the book should not mark this wrong. But I want you to start getting in the habit of putting the variable first and then the plain number in the back. Since the plain number is positive, notice I put a plus 10 to separate. Now remember, we want y by itself, not negative y. So you gotta get rid of the negative. Remember, there's always a coefficient. If you don't see one, you can slip in a 1. So this coefficient, negative 1, needs to be separated with the y. Since this is a factor or multiplication, you're gonna have to divorce. So I'm going to divide this side by negative 1. Now notice that there's 2 items here. You're going to learn that any addition or subtraction separates items or terms. So if I divide this side by negative 1, I have to divide every term or every item by negative 1. So I'm going to divide this by negative 1, but also this by negative 1. So I'm dividing the constant and the variable coefficient guy. These cancel out, give you y. Positive 8x, negative 1, divide, you get negative 8x. Positive 10, divide by negative 1, negative 10. Notice y is by itself. Doesn't matter that your answer has a variable, because we're dealing with algebra, you're going to start learning that a lot of our answers are going to still have variables in there. You're not going to have just a number answer. So all I did was tweak the equation to get y by itself.